Kenya's President-elect William Ruto, whose election win was upheld by the Supreme Court on Monday after it rejected a petition by opposition leader Raila Odinga, says he welcomes the verdict with humility and promises to run an inclusive administration.
This afternoon, with the unanimous decision of the Supreme Court of Kenya, our lengthy, suspenseful and protracted election has come to an end. My fellow presidential candidates and I made our respective cases before Kenyans and submitted ourselves to their sovereign decision at the ballot. After the results of the votes were declared, it was taken up before the Supreme Court for scrutiny to make sure, beyond all doubt, that the will of the people had prevailed. The court returned its verdict, and I welcome it with tremendous humility. I salute the judges of the Supreme Court who have performed their duty with utmost fidelity to the Constitution. They listened to all parties, considered all issues, applied the law, and demonstrated their learning, impartiality, and patriotism. Their professionalism has elevated the stature of the judiciary, enhanced the place of petition process in legitimating election results as the true reflection of the people's decision, and afforded the nation an opportunity to reflect.
Meanwhile, Raila Odinga has accepted the Supreme Court ruling. Here is his lawyer.
I think compared to 2017, we were a lot more well prepared.
What with the 2 or 3 points of mistake that you say the court might have made mistake in that?
In 50% plus 1, I think they were ideological. We are using the baseline of total registered voters in the land as against those who turned out to vote. If you read any legal material on what should be a turnout, including the Black's Law Dictionary, turnout is normally based on the registered members in a country as against those who turn out to vote. So there are so many other examples we can take up.
Now, Kenyans in South Africa have welcomed the Supreme Court's ruling that has confirmed William Ruto as president-elect. They are hoping that today's development will mark an end to divisions. Khayelihle Khumalo joins us now from Malvern. Khayelihle, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. What are people saying following that High Court ruling today?
Well, undoubtedly, Unati, there is a sigh of relief, of course, in light of the developments in Kenya. So a lot of the Kenyans in South Africa are rallying behind the Supreme Court of Appeal. Obviously, it is an apex court in Kenya, but also, given the very significance of Kenya in Africa and in that region, it's quite important to have stability. And of course, a lot of people really say that it's quite important now for President-elect William Ruto to get down to the brass tacks and make sure that the country is able to fulfill so many promises and the manifesto that he had outlined, and be able to make sure that some of the ideals and aspirations are being fulfilled. But I'm just going to try and get a sense from some of the Kenyans right here in South Africa. I'm just going to start with you, sir. I mean, from the outset, you spoke about the importance of these elections, but there was a great deal of anxiety. Whether are we going to see violence? What's going to happen? So now the Supreme Court has finally spoken. Your immediate reaction to the ruling?
I think it's a good ruling, and it shows that we have matured first as a country. There was no violence that was witnessed anywhere. We have matured as a country. And it also shows the maturity of our constitution and also of our independent bodies like the judiciary itself and also the Electoral Commission. So it's a big plus to all of us as a country. And once again, it has demonstrated that that we can have mature democracies in Africa.
Now, for President-elect, obviously it's quite a very enormous task that he's facing to rebuild the economy, to tackle a number of issues that you raised during the course of the campaign. What should be some of the areas that he should focus on for Kenya?
I think the first thing that he needs to deal with is, remember, almost half of the country didn't vote for him. And then we have like almost 6.9 million people that didn't vote for him. And we have another 8 million that didn't even vote at all. So we are a very divided nation at the moment. So I think his first job should be to heal the nation, reconcile the nation. That should be top of his priority. The second thing is the cost of living. We're having a very high cost of living in the country, so he needs to see what needs to be done there. And of course, it's important for him to complete the projects that were started by President Uhuru Kenyatta. It's very important. And of course, Kenya is a country that is kind of is powered by small businesses, and he knows that very well. So it's also very important for him to address economic issues that affect small businesses, affect farmers. Yeah, just grow the economy now. He has the power to do that.
Do you think it's time that he reconciles with the outgoing president, Kenyatta?
It's important. I'm not sure whether they are not friends. But if they are not, I think it's important for him first as a Christian. It's important for him to reconcile with everybody, not just Kenyatta, but also Raila Odinga.
All right. Thank you so much indeed for that. So, Nati, I'm going to try and get as much views as possible. So, sir, we're just talking off air that you were very pro the defeated presidential candidate. What's going through your mind now? The court has finally spoken. Do you think it's time to put everything aside, the differences, and just have a good and a working Kenya back?
No, he's contributed so much to the democratic space that Kenyans are enjoying today. And for that, as a nation, we should be entirely grateful for his contribution. I think he's tried his best. It's now time for him to go to retirement, to support the new government. And we hope the new government will fulfill its promises. They made so many promises that people bought into during the campaign. Now they have the opportunity. We also have an outgoing president who has done so much for Kenyans, and so much that he never completed. So in their first task of office, let them complete the projects that are not completed. And we wish them well, and we give them our support.
And what do you say to the Kenyans? I mean, obviously, areas like Kisumu, areas perceived to be the strongholds of Mr. Odinga. What can you say to Kenyans there?
No, the message is wide and clear. So most Kenyans preferred the other candidate, not their candidate. And we as a nation has to move on. Kisumu is part of Kenya. So we just hope that it will be peaceful, and we are one Kenya, one nation.
All right. So thank you so much indeed for your time. So Nati, those are some of the views here. Obviously, it's quite interesting because you do have the supporters of President-elect William Ruto alongside, of course, the supporters of Mr. Odinga, who tried for the 5th time. And of course, he went to court. But there was a very ignominious defeat in this regard.
All right, Khayelihle, thank you so much for your time and, of course, for getting that reaction from Kenyans that are living in South Africa. Thank you so much.